We are at it again. Good evening, good morning, good day, whatever time it is, wherever it is that you're watching this from. This is Wine and Chess, or Chess and Wine. No, the wine doesn't go first. It's the chess that comes first. So it is Chess and Wine, and I am ADB, and welcome to the 8th episode of this show that we've started together. See, it's between me and you. We did it together. Yes, cheers to it. So yes, wow, we unfortunately for most players, or fortunately for chess lovers, because at least we're trying to get to some solutions. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to getting deeper and deeper into this chess politics issue that is plaguing our sport, that is disrupting progress in our country, especially when chess is involved. So we've been at it for the past 2 episodes, episode 6, episode 7, and fortunately we've had a response from the current chess president, Mr. Hendrik Petras du Toit, on our post on our video on in episode 7, or is it 6 or 7? Yes, and he's challenging me to a public debate, I think, on this issue, because he feels that there are some issues that he needs to respond to. Okay. But I think a whole lot of people have been challenging him, have been questioning him, have been poking him, and he hasn't spoken, he hasn't reacted for a very long time. And surprise, surprise, this time he decided to respond. Yes, and his response is, I challenge you, Mr. Eddie Chess, Mr. Eddie Beeler, to a public debate. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, allow me to issue these few facts first. Because I've got some issues that I need. There are some things that I need to clarify that needs to be out there for everyone to understand. Because, I mean, this is a stance as well that he's pulling, challenging me to a debate on issues that he knows are true. Or maybe not. Like I said, this is not a factual show. This is for entertainment. But obviously, I'm entertaining you with the facts. And this brings me to something else that is being said by a lot of people. I mean, this, I would have, it would have taken some very insightful foresight for me to have been able to see that this political issue would boil out or just I don't know, like out of the blue, just what did it do? No, it just blew up. It just blew up like this. Yes, and I just caught on it and ran with it. But when I started this podcast, Wine and Chess, or Chess and Wine. Why am I studying? It's the wine on my face. But Chess and Wine, when I started it, I was obviously interested more on promoting the game of chess, speaking about chess players, about chess events, getting everybody aware of chess, and that we've got chess alive in our communities, in our country, and we're doing it, and we're still trying to keep it. We're just trying to get it out there, promote it, and get it popular in every way possible. I mean, like I said in the first episode, I've got blogs, I've got books, I've got, I don't know, tournaments and organization, obviously everything that deals with chess. And that brings me back again to the reason why I'm so invested in the political side of these things, because the politics of it, I'm aware of how it affects me as a chess coach, as a person who runs a chess academy, and as a parent who's got chess players, kids who are growing up to become chess players. Because when I see that this situation that we find ourselves in chess in South Africa right now, it's a very bad environment, very toxic environment. It's not conducive to progress, to development, to I don't know, to doing a lot. I see we've got players like Manila that came out of what it wasn't easy for them to come out. Like, if you were to check on the history, if you just Google my name as well, you'd see some of the fights, the struggles that I had to go through for players like Go Manila to get opportunities to play in some international events, national events, and so forth. Because these things are they're just becoming more and more challenging with the wrong people being in the helm of things. Like, the political part of it is very crucial. It affects everybody. And I mentioned in the previous episode that sometimes, like, with the right leadership, you'd obviously have leaders that are looking into ensuring that the players and the parents obviously are accommodated, or they get the treatment. They don't charge exorbitantly for them to be able to afford opportunities. People that afford opportunities are those that can prove that they've got the skill, right? Not necessarily the people that can prove that they've got the money. So what they do, what they did, or what others who are obviously more vested in ensuring that the talent gets recognized and promoted, they would host events in affordable environments. Of course, yes, hosting chess tournaments in hotels brings a certain level of class to it, but it shouldn't block other people from accessing or from affording the opportunity, even though skill-wise they're deserving. You see where that's going? So the right people in political office, or the people with the right interest, or with the interest of ensuring that everybody that loves the game or that has an interest in the game gets accommodated, unlike what we have right now. Because obviously what we see, I'm going to probably get into this in the later episode, but I just saw, I just keep going back into tournaments, and it seems like the SAJCC, which is the South African 9 provinces Junior Chess Championships, was only attended by about 3 provinces. Because when I look at the regions, or the player from the regions, it could even be 2 provinces, but it looks like I'm in the street. I'm not sure where Buffalo something is. Buffalo, I think it's in the no. It's you see, it's maybe in the Eastern Cape. The thing is, I'm not sure where Buffalo is. So also I'm thinking Buffalo something. I remember Buffalo. Yes, it's in. I don't know what that region is. So I'm not sure if it's 2 or 3 provinces out of the 9 provinces that attended the South African Junior Chess Championships, and that is where we as coaches want to see our players taking part. This is how we gauge the progress. That's how we measure the success of our players year in, year out. I would pride myself. Remember in previous episodes I've mentioned that my players from the first year, second year of attending my classes will be attending the National Schools Chess Championships. But then there's the Federation National Championships as well, which is the SAJCC, and we want to see players going there. But we can't see them going there if they fail to afford. They may get the letters, the invitations, but in the end, the letter requires that they pay 8,000 rands. Oh, come on now. You see where the politics of it comes in. And that's where, again, we look at issues like the involvement of other sports bodies like your SASCOC and so forth. And obviously lottery, and there's all sorts of sponsorships that are obviously are government fundings that are assisting sports federations to ensure that they are able to send out their players, or at least host national events without charging players too much, or an arm and a leg, as you would say. So these are the sort of issues that we need to discuss, because I think even right now, Chess South Africa as it is not in good. It's not in good standing with SASCOC. That is the South African Sports Confederation and the Olympics Committee or something. So it's not in good standing with them as far as that's from my summation. Let me put it that way. So let me just go back to what brings me to that. But so for a few things that I need to go to, and I see my time is really running. And if I don't cover everything in 15 minutes, I'm seriously going to try and stop the video in 15 minutes, because I don't want the videos to be very long and bore some of my viewers who like to keep things short and to the point. So let's try and get to the point. So yes, first point is that the structure as it is, the EXBO, the Executive Board of South Africa, is meant to be, it's supposed to be made up of about 13 people, 13 members. These are the members as it goes. It's the president, the vice president, the treasurer. Actually, there's 2 vice presidents. So it's the president, 2 vice presidents, the treasurer, and obviously the general secretary. Then there is 3 provincial representatives of the provincial structures as elected by National Council. Mentioned National Council in the previous episode. And that's how many now? That's 8, right? And there's a representative duly nominated by the special member. A representative that is nominated by a special member. And that's it's already 9. And there is a person responsible for public relations and marketing, that is the PRO, ex officio by virtue of his or her appointment. We're already on 10 people. And then there is the national head of schools chess structures, that is the president of schools chess. They are also a part of us, and that makes it 12. And there is the head coach, ex officio by virtue of his or her appointment as such. A head coach as well is appointed. So the head coach is appointed and the PRO is appointed, but they're also a member of the executive board. That is the EXBO. So that is about 13 members. If I'm wrong, you'll correct me. But then still, that brings me back to another point. And the point is that a quorum, remember we mentioned again that the president of Western Cape Chess mentioned that they are being suspended by a non-corating EXBO. So it's an EXBO that does not even make a quorum. It doesn't meet the quorum. And I read here from the Constitution of South Africa, it says that a quorum of members of EXBO shall consist of not less than 7 such members, including a minimum of 2 provincial representatives being present. That's it. 7 members. Now let's look at how many members of the executive EXBO, that the current EXBO is, are there. Like in the letters that have been sent to all the provinces suspending them. Because at the bottom, if you look, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, you may not be able to see, but you probably would be able to access the letters. Like if you ask for the letter on YouTube, like at the bottom in the comments, if you're a subscribed member, subscribe. I'll send it to you, and then obviously you'll see that at the bottom it says that there is the president, Hendrik du Toit, vice president, Dr. Omar Esau, vice president 2, Judy Marie Steenkamp. Well, that's another member of the 4 Knights. You see? And then there is a treasurer, vacant, secretary, vacant, provincial representative, Lene Kukamur. And then there's players commission, Motupi Lechau. And there is schools representative, Vicky Magu. Now let's just first count the number of people that are here in the EXBO. There is Hendrik du Toit, Omar Esau, Judy Marie Steenkamp, Lini Kukamur, and then Motupi Lechau and Vicky Magu makes it 6. But then again, we go back to Vicky Magu as the school's representative. And remember we read in the Constitution that the school's representative has to be the leader or the head of the schools or the national school structure. Vicky is not part of the national school structure. He is not a teacher, never been a teacher. He is not part of the national school structure, so we do not know how he got co-opted into this position here, this role as school's representative. So we count him out. He doesn't count. He's not there, and that leaves 5 members of the executive board. And that's not 7. So that means they don't make the quorum, they do not quorate, and therefore they cannot, according to the Constitution, make obviously decisions that are binding to members. And the members are the council. The council are now the members that are getting suspended. So if you see again in the letters, this brings me back to a letter that was sent to one of the provinces back in 2018. There was a province that was suspended by the executive board of Chess South Africa back in 2017-2018, and they were later written a letter because SASCOC had directed Chess South Africa that they cannot suspend them for those reasons. Let's read actually together this letter. I'm not going to read all the details because obviously we're trying to keep some people or protect some individuals. Because again, we know people like targeting people, like the people that we're speaking of right now. They like targeting. They're very petty about this sort of things. Shame, man. But anyways, it reads as follows. Dear President and EXCO members, upliftment of suspension of CHESA members. So it reads, this notification serves to inform you that SASCOC had scheduled a meeting with Chess South Africa, which was held on Saturday 9th June 2018 at the SASCOC offices, Olympic House, Johannesburg. The outcome of the said meeting was that a decision was reached to the effect that all suspended provinces, Chess South Africa members, should be reinstated with immediate effect due to the following reasons. And these are the reasons. Reason number 1, the resultant non-compliance of Chess South Africa to SASCOC in terms of the Sports and Recreation Act, which stipulates that a national federation should have a minimum of 5 provinces as members in order to be compliant. And number 2, to give and create a conducive environment within which a rescheduled elective annual general meeting, AGM, of Chess South Africa could be held. And the ruling by the Chess SA Constitutional Committee, which technically nullified the SGM decision that dealt with the member suspension and matters related thereto. Therefore, in terms of the above, your suspension is hereby uplifted with immediate effect. All Chess SA provinces, including yourself, should be in good standing in terms of the Chess SA Constitution before participating in the rescheduled election, annual general meeting, elective general meeting, which shall be organized in terms of the SA Constitution. Wait, right, I jumped the gun. But anyways, one point was made. But the second point is the fact that now if you suspend all 9 provinces, whereas it states that here in the SASCOC letter that this suspension is lifted because the resultant compliance of Chess SA to SASCOC in terms of the Sports and Recreation Act, which stipulates that a national federation should have a minimum of 5 provinces. So now if all 9 provinces are suspended, what are you left with? Less than 5 provinces, of course. That is not even, that's besides the point of the quorum. That is another point on its own. But then there's a point again here that states that if you've got less than 5 members, 5 provinces as members, then you don't, wow. You don't comply with the SASCOC requirements. So that means if you now go and suspend all 9 provinces, Mr. Hendrik du Toit, you yourself have nullified your own role as president as Chess South Africa. So Chess South Africa itself has been nullified by the suspension of all the 9 members. What the hell have you been thinking? What the hell was it thinking? But anyway, that's what we're going to stop. I'm going to stop it here. And then we're going to deal with other issues later. Because, I mean, you can tell that there's even more that needs to come out, that has to come out. But we're already on 17 minutes and I don't want to go to 20 or 30 because people are going to start blaming my wine. And my wine is just keeping me company and making me, I don't know, sharp, just like the chairs. Ray. All right, so we're gonna hold it. We're gonna just stop it here for the night, and me and you will meet again for the next episode the next day, where we're gonna go into other issues, especially the issues of the fact that most of these provinces have been very functional without the assistance of the current president, because we've had very, very big events taking place in other provinces, like in Kimberley, like in Western Cape, like in I don't know, like provinces have been functioning. But obviously we need a proper structure nationally so that we can have provinces functioning even better. Like we want... Let me stop. We'll continue tomorrow. Let me love and leave you. Have a good night. And besides, I've got an editor for this video tonight. I'm sure there's going to be some music at the beginning. I'm hoping my Lebongo and Kosim, the UMP, would assist me. Good evening. Good night. Subscribe, people, so that you get the notifications when the episodes come in. Good night.